The scream tore through my backyard like a blade through silk. My daughter, Lily, my gentle, wheelchair-bound dreamer, lay crumpled in the grass, blood seeping through her yellow sundress, staining the marigold she adored. Standing over her was Margaret Voss, our neighbor, clutching garden shears slick with red, ranting about neighborhood rules as if she hadn't just stabbed a child. My vision blurred, rage swallowing reason. I don't remember crossing the lawn. I don't remember grabbing her. But I'll never forget what came next. It was a crisp Saturday morning in our suburban Ohio cul-de-sac, the kind of place where picket fences gleam and mailboxes match. Lily, 13, sat under our pergola, her sketchbook open, her trembling fingers brushing a daisy's petals. Born with paralysis from the waist down, she'd faced countless surgeries and strangers' pity, yet her spirit burned bright. Her smile could thaw winter. That day, she was collecting flowers for a biology project, 3 blooms, no more. From the kitchen, coffee in hand, I watched her, proud but vigilant. Then I saw it, a shadow moving beyond our hedge. Margaret Voss, in her straw hat and pressed khakis, clutched a clipboard like a shield. She was the iron fist of our homeowners association, a woman who'd fine you for a crooked shutter. Her eyes locked on Lily, cold and unblinking, as if my daughter were a weed in her pristine world. I stepped onto the porch, boots heavy on the wood. Margaret didn't glance my way. Lily plucked a petal, holding it to the light, whispering notes to herself. Margaret's lips twitched. I wanted to shout, but I held back. She'd sent us letters before, petty complaints about unauthorized plant tampering. We'd ignored them. She hated that. Then I saw it. Margaret's hand slipped into her apron, pulling out garden shears, their blades glinting like a predator's teeth. My heart seized. She gripped them not like a gardener, but like a soldier. Hey, stay away from my flowers. Her voice sliced the air. Lily froze, her small hand clutching a daisy. Margaret stormed across her manicured lawn, hat askew, face flushed with fury. I warned you, you little thief, she shrieked, her voice unhinged. Lily's lips parted, but no sound came. Then Margaret lunged. I was halfway down the steps when the shears flashed. A sickening thud broke the silence, followed by Lily's scream, raw, guttural, the kind that stops your soul. She fell from her chair, her sketchbook tumbling, pages scattering like fallen leaves. Margaret yanked the shears free, twisting them with a cruel flick. Blood bloomed across Lily's dress, too red, too fast. No, I roared, sprinting, my boots pounding the earth. Margaret turned, panting, her eyes gleaming not with regret, but with triumph. She had no right, she spat. Those plants are protected by HOA rules. She's a child. I shoved her back hard. You stabbed my daughter over a flower. Margaret raised the shears again, defiant, but I slapped them from her hand. They clattered into the dirt. I warned you, she hissed. I sent letters. Lily whimpered behind me, her bloodied hands clutching her side. I knelt, pressing my palm against the wound, my voice shaking. Stay with me, Lily. Look at me. I didn't mean to upset her, she whispered, her voice breaking. You did nothing wrong. I choked out. Margaret loomed behind us, unyielding. This is what happens when you ignore rules, she said coldly. I stood, my voice dropping to a growl I barely recognized. You'll regret every word. She didn't flinch, still righteous, still convinced she was the victim. That was the moment I snapped. Years of restraint, military training, crisis negotiations vanished. I charged, grabbing her by the collar and slamming her against the fence. The wood groaned. You stabbed my daughter, I snarled. You smiled as she bled. Her face paled, but she spat. She shouldn't be out here unattended. I grabbed the shears from the ground, holding them inches from her face. You like these, don't you? Let's see how you like them, she shrieked, but I tossed the shears into her prized azaleas. Pinning her down, I ripped a thorny vine from her trellis and bound her wrists, ignoring her cries as the thorns bit her skin. You're hurting me, she wailed. You hurt my daughter, I shot back. Dragging her to her ornate garden arch, I tied her wrists high, her feet barely touching the ground. Call the police, she screamed. On the law today, I said. Neighbors peered from windows, some filming, some frozen. I turned to Lily, her face pale, tears streaming. I'm coming back, baby. She's not going anywhere. Margaret thrashed, cursing about lawsuits. I wasn't done. In my shed, I found Eda mason jar of honey, a gift from her own HOA welcome basket. I poured it over her head, the golden syrup dripping down her face, into her blouse. She gagged, screaming. You wanted control? I said. Let's see how nature treats you. At the base of her fence was a fire ant nest. I scooped a writhing handful and dumped it onto her shoulders. Her screams turned primal as the ants swarmed, biting her honey-soaked skin. Make it stop, she begged. You didn't stop for Lily, I said, turning away. Sirens wailed, close now. Paramedics rushed to Lily, their faces grim as they saw the wound. Deep puncture, right side, I said. Shears, twisted on exit. They worked fast, lifting her onto a stretcher. An officer, Ramirez, approached, eyeing Margaret, now convulsing against the arch, ants still crawling. She stabbed your kid, he asked. Called it HOA enforcement, I said. Margaret screamed. He tortured me. I stepped close. I restrained you. The ants just followed your scent. The courtroom was a pressure cooker, packed with locals and reporters. Margaret, in a drab suit, her arms bandaged, sat defiant, avoiding Lily's gaze. The charges attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, hate-based violence hung heavy. Her lawyer, a slick suit, claimed she was stressed and meant only to scare Lily. I laughed, loud enough to startle the room. The judge, a no-nonsense woman, raised an eyebrow. Your turn will come, sir. When it did, I stood tall. I'm David Harper, Lily's father. This woman stabbed my daughter over a daisy and called it policy. She's no gardener to bully with clippers. Lily spoke next, her voice soft but unwavering. I just wanted to study flowers. She said I didn't belong. She stabbed me, and I thought I'd die. The judge's gavel fell. 15 years, no parole for 10. Margaret screamed, but no one cared. The HOA collapsed days later. At an emergency meeting, I faced the last of Margaret's allies. She didn't hijack your system, I said. She was your system. Neighbors nodded, some ashamed. We voted out the old board, forming a council with open rules and a seat for a disabled resident Lily's seat. We tore down Margaret's arch, planting a garden in its place. Daisies, sunflowers, and a new flower, Lily Bloom, white with red hearts, like my daughter's scars. Lily's recovery was brutal nightmares, panic, scars inside and out. But she spoke out, her story spreading through newspapers and rallies. Flowers don't ask permission to grow, she said, and the world listened. Schools invited her, strangers shared their struggles. She became a beacon, though I feared the weight of it. One day, she touched a lily bloom and whispered, "Scars are stories that survived." I knew she wasn't just healing, she was growing. Margaret's house was sold to a young family who hung a welcome all sign. Our street changed. Neighbors talked, helped, and listened. The old HOA office became a garden, wild and free, with a sign, "This belongs to everyone." At its dedication, Lily spoke. Cruelty only wins if we let it root. The crowd roared, and I wept, not from pain, but from pride. This wasn't just about one morning, it was about silence enabling cruelty. Margaret thought rules made her untouchable, but we proved her wrong. Lily's law, her garden, her voice, a theory, our promise it won't happen again. If this story stirs you, comment below. What do you think about violence as a response to injustice? Was I right to fight back, or did I go too far? Share your stand, your story. Let's talk about how we stop the Margarets of the world before another child bleeds.